What's happening, everybody? Back.
Terry says it's good to have you back.
All right, Terry V.
Terry
Already on the chat.
Oh, yeah.
Welcome again to Earthtones Live. Live from here at Earthtones Recording Studio, hence the name. I tracked a band one time called Hence the Name. They were pretty cool. That was a great name. Hence the name. So we hope everybody has been quite fabulous while we took a couple of weeks off. And so we'll just jump right into it and wait for it. I think, see, we got a few people kind of chiming in, and we want to say hello and howdy do. We want to say howdy do to everybody.
Eric Gale back in the house, as usual.
Eric Gale back in the house. Gale with no S. So that's great, man. I know he's looking forward to hearing a pedal that we have. I'm not going to tell you what it is yet. So we'll explain to everybody right quick where we've been for the past couple of weeks. My wife had a pretty severe medical emergency about 3 weeks ago. She had a bad kidney infection, and she had to be put in the hospital and had to have like emergency surgery on one of her kidneys for a blockage. And it was pretty super serious stuff. So we just said, no, we don't need to do the live stream. And that was a day after the last live stream that we did. And that happened. She was in ICU for a couple of days. Was not a cool situation at all. I don't really post a lot of personal stuff on social media. I think that's kind of silly to do that. Plus, it's my business. So, you know, I like to just friends and family have known, close friends and family have known, and some other people have known that have come into work that I've had to reschedule some work and stuff like that. But the most important thing is that she is okay, and she is on the mend and doing good. And you know, a couple of days of intense worry because it gets, it gets pretty dicey when you have infections and stuff like that. So it was a couple of days in ICU and a couple of days in the hospital. But we are excited that she is so much better, and that you know what they're saying? Stephanie, mama, Stephanie, That's what they're saying. Anyway, so that's where we were. Didn't want to say anything. Didn't want to put it out there. I'll put it out there here to the close people who watch. And, if you watch this later on and you want to send her a get well on the mend message and all that, that would be really, really cool. I'm sure she would appreciate that. So anyway, just wanted to cover that first, let you guys know where we were. And that's where we were. So we're back. Myself and Abraham Johnson. And we are here live at Earthtones Recording Studio again, which is my domain that I tend to hang out in most days. Just come and hang out. Just put my feet on the table, watch a little TV, drink a little coffee, and just kind of hang out. So as I'm drinking coffee, it's actually a decaf, but man, Starbucks decaf got a little octane to it. So.
We got Jeff Clapp watching on the Instagram.
Jeffrey Clapp, the Clapper Dapper. I'm so fortunate to have really fun friends like that, and Mr. Clapp is a heavy hitter. Friends and neighbors, raised up musically right by the Marsalis family, and doing that New Orleans thing, and just such a really, really awesome drummer, but a more awesome friend. So if anybody needs any really, really killer drum tracks, I know a guy, and his name is Jeff Clapp. And Jeff Clapp, he can hook you up, friends and neighbors, so don't hesitate to call if you need some of that kind of jazz, second line New Orleans. Heck, call him if you want a rock and roll song. Just give him a call, or call me. I know how to get in touch with him. So let's see here. What do we want to tackle? Let's talk about what we've done this week. We took a bit, like I say, we took a bit off of work to take care of Mama, and so nothing really happened at that time. But I will look at my schedule, and I'm gonna tell you what y'all all have been missing out on since. Let's see when that all. Let's see. I was on the 15th was the last live stream, I think. Yep. I think it was. Or maybe it was on the 8th was the last live stream. God, Lord, I don't even know. No, it was on the 15th. Okay. So, we had a few days of rehearsals with Mr. Gales in here doing some of his thing, getting ready for a new set of tour runs. And then while he was doing that, we were Mama was so kind enough to cut us loose and tell us that we had to go to the Corey Wong show. And so we went with Mr. Gales and company and Team EG down to the what was it called? Down to the Ritz in Raleigh.
Ritz.
And the Ritz in Raleigh, and we got to see our friend Mr. Corey Wong and got to hang out and got the red carpet treatment, and so nice of those guys, and their band is so cool, and we had such a great time. And it was a good break from everything that was going on. Not that we needed a break, but Stephanie said, if y'all don't go, I'm going to get you. So we went, and we had a good time. It was great. Eric got up, and you guys have probably seen on YouTube. I'm going to see if Abraham can go into the chat and drop in. I shot a video on my phone. So here's the way it went. Eric and I have been talking about this for a couple of months, just back and forth whenever we would talk about stuff, and he would say, man, when did you say Corey's going to be in Raleigh again? And I was like, well, the 19th, I think it was the date. I said, it's the 19th. He said, man, I'm in town. I'm not on the road, and we should go. And I was like, let's hook it up, and let's go. So we did that, and I followed him and the team down in the bus. We took a separate car just in case any medical emergencies popped up while we were there. And it was so cool. We all got the red carpet treatment, walked right into the dressing rooms at the Ritz are rather large. And we walked in, and Corey, if you've ever seen Corey on his recent tours, Corey Wong, he has a pretty big band, and his band is pretty massive. He's got like 8 horn players, and he's got Sonny T. Oh my gosh, got Sonny T on the bass and Patar. Mm-hmm. It was good to see Patar on the drums. Such a sweet guy, and just all of their whole band, and Corey just killing it on guitar. So Eric said, hey man, Corey said to bring my guitar. So he took his guitar and his pedal board. So we all knew what you guys saw the next day with Eric totally destroying the stage for 5 or 6 minutes and walking in because we had kind of been privy to that. Just couldn't say anything to you. And I didn't really do – I don't think I did – I don't know if we did the live stream that week, and I may have alluded to it secretly that we knew something. But anyway, so if you I think Abraham's going to drop that in the – I think he's going to drop that link in the chat. I shot on my phone of Eric walking up the steps from the backstage, and I shot from the side stage with my phone. Too much fun. It was just fun anyway, going to the show and hanging out and just getting to see those guys. And what an incredible band. Incredible band. So we did that. That was fun. And then studio stuff, we had another great session, and I have another one tomorrow actually for HBO for a great show called The Gilded Age. And if you have not seen The Gilded Age yet, it is killer. The Downton Abbey director and writer and all that stuff is doing that one. And it's really cool. It's late 1800s in New York City. It's like the really start of like high society in New York City, and it shows them. It's like all railroad tycoons and stuff like that. It's like if you took Monopoly and you just made it into a TV show. It's kind of what it is. Really cool though, and so we're digging watching it. My wife and I actually started watching it since I'm doing some ADR work on it, and it's very cool. And then we had I think I told you guys last time that we wrapped on the oh Lord, what is it called? We wrapped on what is the name of the show? Stupid, I can't remember. Oh, The Power for Amazon Prime. And then let's see, when I came back into work on the 27th, what did I do? Oh, I was fortunate enough to be asked to Coastal Carolina University last Monday, I think it was, a week ago Monday, to do a little get together with. They have a recording program and a music production program down there, which is pretty cool. And if you've ever seen Coastal Carolina University, they have those crazy teal looking uniforms like that football team. What is their mascot again? Is it like a Chanticleer?
Something
The
like
Chanticleer, is that the way? If anybody can put in the, I don't know if you can put in the chat how to actually pronounce something, but if you could put in the chat the Chanticleers, it's a bird, which I don't know what it is. So anyway, got really cool looking uniforms. They got a great recording program, and I went down there and spoke to some of their kids and hung out for a couple of hours and told them all sorts of war stories and, untruths and stuff like that. And then they set up a drum kit and started micing up for a session. So it was pretty cool. I'd like to say big shout out to my man, Aiden, for setting up all the cameras tonight. He set up all the cameras this afternoon. He did. And Aiden and Dustin. And Dustin just took off. Dustin worked all day long, and then he'll hang out and be like, I think I'm going to go home if that's okay. And it's like 7 o'clock. And I'm like, man, you've been here for like 9 hours. You can go home. It's okay. So big shout out to both my interns. Aiden is from Guilford Tech, GTCC, and Dustin is from Appalachian State University. And speaking of Appalachian State University, Mr. Abraham Johnson has been accepted into the Hayes School of Music at Appalachian State University. Abraham had an audition about a month ago or a few weeks ago to get into when you go to Appalachian State, they have a great recording production program. It's really awesome. Music business, music industry studies, I think they call it. But you have to. It's really genius because they require that the kids actually take an instrument while they're there. So they want their engineers and their producer kids to understand music. You don't have to be a killer musician. It helps if you are, but you don't have to be a killer musician. You have to be good enough to pass the audition to get into the program, though. So Abraham took his guitar up and went and did the audition for a jazz guitar and got into the Hayes School of Music, and I'm very proud of him. He's never had a proper lesson in his life, but he gets to hang out with a bunch of cool guys, and they teach him stuff, and he learns really good on his own. and he's in jazz club at Weaver Academy and does good. So I'm very, very proud of him. I just wanted to say that. I know he's probably embarrassed that I'm calling him out on all this stuff, but not embarrassed. He worked hard at it. So I'm proud of him. Anyway, so let's see what else we worked on. We worked on such great stuff. I'm just having to look at my calendar to remember it because it was I did about a 3-day audio book for Core Media Group. That was really good. I need to keep looking. Did a session with Sam Robinson and David Fulford, do some little acoustic guitar work and some B3 and Leslie stuff for the Marvelous Function, which was fabulous. And again, another shout out to Abraham. He had his Battle of the Bands last Thursday at Weaver Academy, and they all dressed up like pirates, and they played March of the Pigs by 9 Inch Nails, and around that they had their drummer Jackson play marimbas. And they did this whole pirate theme thing, and they had one of their teachers dressed up as Captain. What was his name?
Captain Tabron.
Captain what?
Tabron.
Tabron?
Yep.
Captain Tabron. So his name was Captain Tabron, and they put wanted posters up at school. And I knew nothing about this, so I went to the Battle of the Bands knowing nothing. Didn't know what song they were going to play. So they won their Battle of the Bands. I was really excited about that, and it was extremely creative, and it was funny. And I had my man Andre Nordblad in here this past Friday, and we did a bunch of electronic, ambient, very cool stuff. I always work with him, and I get to work with all sorts of cool software instruments. And there's some new Native Instrument stuff that's coming out. And we do a lot of like what I call hybrid sessions with him. And the hybrid sessions basically are like if you have audio, right? We have audio tracks, and then we have like the machine. You know, if you look at the table here, you can see that we run a lot of our we do our samples and stuff like we go like this, right? Let's see. Let's do this. Yeah, so when I hit the machine, it's a sampler, right? So every time I touch a pad on it, it's going to play a sound. So this is actually controlling my computer in the control room, which has a bunch of samples on it, and that's sort of what we do with these hybrid sessions. We put audio in there, and we can trigger samples. We can have all this lock into Pro Tools, and it's pretty cool because you have a lot of different software instruments, meaning that the piano could be, you change out melodies, change out synth sounds and stuff like that. You can change out synth sounds and stuff like that. As you go all the time, and so it's pretty cool. He does a lot of EDM stuff. Who else did we have this week? I had Adrian Foltz in here on Saturday. Really, really cool. Older song that he had written from way back.
In the chat.
Adrian Foltz? Right on! Had Adrian in here, and it was a really cool song from his past that he had brought in and asked me to help him kind of resurrect it and do a modern kind of version of it. And we started on it, and it was great. We put a couple of guitars down to a click. Adrian knocked out the drum track. I swear I think the drum track was maybe one take. I listened to it, and I was like, all right, I think we might have done a couple of takes, but we didn't do any editing on it. Really, really good. And then I put a bass track down, and then we had multiple musicians come in. We had Emily. I can't remember Emily's last name, so I'm so bad at last names and first names. And we're going to have some other musicians come in on it. Emily came in and played banjo on it. I know we had somebody else come in and play. Marta came in. Marta came in and played fiddle. I hate to call it violin when it's on a country song. I like to call it fiddle. What do y'all call it? Drop it in the chat. What do you call it? If it's being played on a country song, you still call it violin? Still call it a fiddle? Does it make you feel weird when people call it a fiddle on a violin and classical people like get all snobby and put their nose in the air and say like they don't really they would rather it be called a violin, right? Because there's two camps on that, and there are two camps on that whole thing, violin and fiddle, whether it's called what or whatever. I had Sunday off, and Sunday off was really great because I went in my backyard and I chipped up every single piece of brush that I had on our lot. And it was amazing. That's like my zen time because I'm around all this stuff all the time, which is fun. And it's great, and it's no complaints from me, but it's like my zen time, firing up the wood chipper, making sure to keep my fingers and my arms out of it, and then putting... Huh?
I said your feet.
And my feet, yeah, I got chainsaw foot. I hit my foot with a chainsaw about 6 months ago. That was fun. That was a lot of fun. I was home by myself, just cutting some brush and, just kind of bump you just kind of bump that old foot with the running chainsaw, and you kind of, makes you freak out for a second. And then, it makes you, when you drive to urgent care, it makes you drive really fast. So I was driving really fast. My adrenaline was pumping. I didn't want to look inside my shoe because I was like, man, I don't know what I'm going to find in there. Hopefully not half my foot about to fall off. And it wasn't. It was all good. But now I got a nice scar. And what do they say? Scars are like tattoos with better stories. So that's kind of, I think I saw a shirt that said that on it one time. But so anyway, yeah, I sometimes refer to myself as chainsaw foot now. Kind of like Leatherface, but just chainsaw foot. What are you shaking your head at? All right, and let's see here. Hold on. Let's see what else I worked on. You go ahead if you got something in the chat. You talk it up, son. And then Monday and Tuesday, I had the most awesome Colin Cutler band, which I just called Colin Cutler Band because that's Colin is who booked the session. A lot of times I'll put like person's name and band after it if I don't know their band name. So they may have a band name and I'm not exactly sure. My apologies, Colin Cutler, if you do, and that's my fault. It's totally on me. So Colin Cutler came in and brought a most awesome array of musicians with him and had great guitar player who I know, and I swear, Bob. Bob is a guitar player, and I taught Bob's son drum lessons in the past. Isn't that scary that I taught somebody drums? Pretty scary, Aiden, right? That I taught somebody drum lessons? Pretty bad.
Who?
I can't remember. Bob Worrells is the guy's name. He's the dad. And I know Bob. I mean, I say he's the dad. I know Bob. He's tracked in my studio before in the old place at the old 620 building.
Mm-hmm.
We hope everybody's having a good time watching us tonight. I see some long chat stuff in there, and I don't know
we've
what's
got
going on.
some stuff in the chat
We
going.
got some stuff in the chat going. So Colin Cutler came in and did that, and then and then today is Wednesday. Okay, so let's see. And then the past couple of days, I have been doing a pretty unique project where I mixed a movie, independent film, but it will be released in theaters. Distribution-wise, it's called Make Him Famous. Really cool film, and they contacted me back in July about mixing it, and so I mixed all the audio for the whole film. Ended up really good, and then they hit me last week and said, when we talked back in July, you had mentioned that you could help us with closed captions, and I was like, okay. And I had never really, I know how to do closed captions, but I've never had to do it for a project before. So I've been diving into closed captions for the past couple of days, and Premiere Pro is pretty intuitive about it. It's got an AI feature that goes through and sort of like if Siri was transcribing something, but it transcribes the audio from your movie, but then you have to go through and you have to edit all of it. So, and it's really super tedious work. It's about a 90-minute film, and I've been about 6 hours on it now. Probably got another hour's worth of work to do on it, maybe hour and a half, something like that, to do. And so I'll be picking that up tomorrow. But that's pretty much what's happening in the studio. And what has been happening in everybody else's world? We got some questions.
Terry V says, I know you have some mastering guys on dial-up, but you also master some cuts you have for me. How do you approach mastering?
Oh.
Just getting right into it.
Right into it. How do I approach mastering? I don't necessarily tout myself as a mastering engineer, per se. Those guys are like super ninjas, especially the analog guys. Those are the guys that you really want to get, and they're expensive. And when you look at the mastering budgets on stuff, you want to make sure, to me, first off, you want to make sure that your recording project or your record has been mixed properly and warrants a professional mastering engineer. You don't want to take a 2-track that you ripped MP3 off of YouTube and spit hot fire over, and then pay a mastering engineer $150 an hour to master it. Like that's not that it can't help, but it's something that you want to make sure that the scope of your project all the way down the line, as far as recording, mixing, everything has really been tended to, in a good way, to where all that warrants a great mastering job, afterwards. So you'll see top tier mastering guys, and the projects that they work on, they've been meticulously, mixed and recorded and all that. Not that I don't, not that I don't get stuff like that to master, but I will do some mastering every now and then on singles, or, especially singles. When it comes to mastering a full project, to me, that's almost like a ninja art, because your mastering is your last stage before it goes to everything, and you want all the songs to have a master level and a master EQ, and make them all sound consistent, because sometimes I'll have songs in here that I've cut. I'm working on a record now, which we're actually going to be doing some revision mixes on Saturday for a band called Third of Never. I've probably talked about them in the live stream before, and it's a great record. It's got some all-star cats on it, and it's really cool, and it sounds amazing. And so that record was, I think we started recording that in my old studio 7 years ago. So I'm mixing drums that I recorded 7 years ago. Not 7 weeks ago or 7 months ago, but 7 years ago. They're still in the same file formats that I had them in. There hasn't been any conversions. I'm just meticulous about saving data and all that stuff. So what you want to do is, like, some of the drum tracks were recorded within the past probably 8-9 months. And so when you have a record that has sounds on it that were recorded years apart, there can be some inconsistencies in those sounds, and there's some inconsistencies in the way that the track was kind of put together or mixed. I like to keep things consistent, but we all know mix engineers, like, I like toys. So sometimes I'm mixing with a new compressor on vocals, or sometimes I'm mixing with a different, I'll have a method, and then that method will change. My method will morph and change. And so if I've done rough mixes or setup mixes on something 5 years ago, and then I mix another one 6 months ago, they may sound a little different. So your mastering engineer is going to really be aware of that. And your mastering engineer is going to go through and make sure that all the EQ on those mixes and songs that were done years apart, that they sound consistent, that the low end's bumping from the same place, that the levels are all consistent. So when you listen track to track on, say, a vinyl or on a CD, that the levels don't jump around. You're not reaching for your volume knob on your stereo or your volume knob on your phone because something's too loud. And you guys know that, because if you listen to Apple Music, something will be quiet from the 70s, and then from the 90s it'll be so loud you have to turn it down, and the 70s you have to turn it way up. Mastering of a project is going to smooth all that out. It's going to make all those levels kind of the same, and a big kind of, not necessarily a brightening, but just sort of a policing of stuff to make sure everything's consistent. But the way that I approach it, I will master full projects like that, but I would rather not master things that are 12 and 13 songs. I have Ty Tabor do all that stuff for me, and he is Ty Tabor is the guitar player for a band called Kings X. Who has heard in the live stream and in the chat? Drop me who has heard of the band Kings X. That would be a little King's X right there. Almost. I can't say it too loud, or the Instagram bots are going to come after me, and they came after me last time again, and I don't know why. I can't figure out why, because I'm not really playing anybody's music, except I have stuff that I've written, but maybe it sounds like something else. I don't think it sounds like something else. Anyway, they come after me for all that stuff on that. They take the videos down and all that. Anyway, so Ty Tabor does all of my mastering work, and I actually have one that I probably need to send to him soon, and which I just got approval on the mixes today. So anyway, the way that I approach mastering is that I will leave, the way that I mix for mastering is that I like to mix and leave plenty of headroom on the mix. So the mastering engineer, if they need to pull things up, if they need to cut bass frequencies, if they need to boost bass frequencies or something like that, that they have more headroom to do it, that I'm not just sending them something that's so loud that they don't have, like, headroom is your volume above maximum. You want to leave some headroom, some room to work with. So anyway, I tend to approach my mixes leaving headroom on them. So if I have to master things that I have mixed, and especially if they're singles or maybe an EP, that I know I have headroom, and I just make sure that I've got consistent volume. I'm kind of aware of when the tracks were cut, and I'm always I'm at the luxury of, if I've mixed it, I kind of know how I mixed it and when the songs were cut. But if I master other people's stuff, a lot of times some of it is fixing and some of it is just really sweetening everything. So anyway, long
Lots
answer short.
Love for King's X.
Lots of love for King's X.
Chat.
Everybody likes King's X. So their guitar player, Ty Tabor, he is my mastering engineer. He's my bro. that was always Billy Hewlin and I would always joke about a girl that was in his class one time, and she had something to say, and she raised her hand, and she said, "It's my birthday." And so anytime I talk about somebody, I talk like that. I say, he's my bro. So
You big dummy.
I know, I'm a big dummy. That's good to act like a big dummy every now and then, especially when you're in my age. Like, what do you got to lose? What are they going to do? Fire me? Can't fire me for my own business. I got my own business. You can't fire me for my own business.
Not until that heathen apologizes for slamming the door in my face.
That's what I'm thinking, too. You just don't mess with Esther now. All right, so anything else? Any other questions in the chat for us? Is everybody having a good time tonight? Can you hear everything out there? Can you hear me talking? I'm sitting on the little stool, sitting on the little man's stool. I feel like I'm leaning over, but, you know, it doesn't ever put me at the same height as, you know, my son over here. So it just makes me look shorter than I actually am. I'm on a small stool, but not the smallest one. If I get the tall one, I feel like I'm leaning over the table, you know, so it's kind of like, you know, it's all good. All righty. Woo! Woo, my guitar's out of tune, it is. Abraham picked up his half-step down Eddie Van Halen guitar, so any guitar I got to pick up something if we're going to play anything. If we're going to play and not feel like I'm a half-step off or out of tune from anything, I pick up mine and tune it to a half-step, which is my, tonight is my lovely Zion 90 Telecaster. This is my Zion 90. Boom! I love it. It's really cool. It looks like it's got a 3D paint job, but it's actually just the grain of the wood. It's got that quilted maple. And then the neck even looks 3D because it's got a bird's eye maple neck on it. So they call it bird's eyes just because it's got these little teeny tiny knots in it that look like bird's eyes, which is kind of creepy if you think about it. And it's got a bird's eye fretboard. And recently tended to by Kenny Marshall.
Slup in the Instagram.
Schlup! Mr. George Slupbook. He resurrected my Gretsch kick drum. He did. He resurrected my Gretsch kick drum. And it was like drum porn on the internet, man. Everybody, he was playing it from his house on little what are they called? The little reels. The little reels they do on the little Instagram. And he was playing it, and everybody kept commenting, "Man, that 24 is killer." And I was like, I'm not a drum cat. I'm not a drummer. I love drums, but I'm not as deep. This is my deep, you know, the guitars and the pedals and the amps and stuff. I'm not deep like that, but I was like, wow, I think I actually have a drum kit that goes deep with drummers. I was proud of that. And Slup put a whooping on it, man. Mr. Sluppick put a whooping on it, and he took it. I had a kick drum. It's actually in that room. I should go get it. But it's a Gretsch. It's a 70-ish. Yeah. I was told it was a 79. You gonna go get it? Sure. Abraham's going to get it. And I was told it was a 79 when I traded. I made a pretty darn good trade for it. Told it was a 79. George says 70-ish. And the problem was everybody wanted to use it really big. It's a 24, I think. 24 by something. George could tell me what it is. What is it? I can't see. Abraham's got it on his phone. It says, Benji, bro, you always just a, what? Are you always just a bit off? Am I always just a bit off? Does that say that? Yeah. Huh? Oh, yeah. There it is. Let's get the shot there. Hold on. Boom. There you go. Big 24 kick there. So, I know what he's saying. Yeah, the Instagram feed, guys, it's just weird. We use this software, and Instagram wants to see everything vertical like it's on your phone, so I apologize. If you look at it if you look at it. If you look at it on the YouTube, if you watch it on YouTube or on Facebook, it's horizontal and everything's full. The picture is full and wide. So, yeah, there you go. There it is.
14 by 24.
14 by 24. That's what that kick is, right? So this is a house one of the kicks for a house drum kit that we have in here, which I now have 7. Why do I have 7 drum kits? I'm not a drummer. And I like having those, for the kids to play in the studio sessions. Anyway, this is a really, really, really killer drum. All kidding aside, George really did put a whipping on it, man. And it had an issue with the lugs. When you kicked it, if I had a microphone on it, or even if I was standing in front of it, when you kicked it, it did this thing where it went ring, ring, and it sounded like a metal drum. There was something metal. And I could not make it go away. I could put blankets in it. I could put stuff around it. I was like, something's going on. And what I figured out was that the lugs have a spring inside of every lug, and the springs inside of every lug were singing like a note. And it was annoying, and I hated it because I couldn't use the drum, and I really wanted to use the drum to record with. So George came in, and he figured out that you take the lugs off, was it like 189 of them on there, George? I think so. You take the lugs off and you put a piece of foam in each lug, so the spring still works, but it doesn't resonate, and it's killer now. And so I was so excited, and he worked so hard on it, man. And he kept sending me pictures of stuff, kept sending me pictures and videos in the progress, and he got it done, and I was just like, yes. So I owe George big time. I'm going to trade him something. I'm going to trade him some time. I'm going to take him out to dinner. I don't know. I might even take him to a movie or something. Hey, man, we're going to see a movie next week? Maybe we can do that. Anyway, so yeah. So he really put a whooping on that, and that was extremely cool. What else did we do? Oh, I saw old George night before last. Abraham and I went to go see the indubitable Greg Koch at the Flatiron on Monday night, and if you missed it, you missed it. Because if you guys don't know who Greg is, he is a ridiculous guitar player from Milwaukee, but he is everywhere. He's amazing. He's got a great live stream that he does twice a week, one for Wild West Guitars in Colorado. He has a couple of Reverend signature model guitars that are really killer that I am talking to the fine people at Reverend, and we are figuring out a way how to get one in here so we can use it on sessions. And I'm just trying to pick the color out, and they're being really nice and cool about everything because I did this record with Mike Watt, and Mike Watt has a Reverend signature bass. So I talked to them and I said, hey man, if you guys want to, I'm doing this record with Watt and it's getting all this press. So if you want to send it out to your people, I know they dig stuff like that. And the guy was like, man, that's cool. That's great. I appreciate you contacting us. And I was like, hey man, I'd love to get some of your guitars in the studio. Such cool people at Reverend. And so look for possibly a Reverend guitar in here. After I saw Greg Koch play his, I want to sell every single guitar I have because there's no need for me to pick one up. It's just like when all the rest of those guys are in here, I'm like, nope, I'm good. I'll just press the buttons and record stuff. You guys play the guitar. It's fine. So anyway, so we did that, and that was big fun. And what else we got in the chat? Somebody else say something in the chat? I see it lighting up over there. You guys are killing it over there.
Yeah, everybody's just supporting.
Everybody's good? All right, right on. Okay, shall we, is that all we have to talk about? God, I hope so, because that's almost 40 minutes already. Is that all we have to talk about? Yeah? All right. So, who wants to hear some guitar pedals? Raise your hand in the chat. Can you raise your hand in the chat? Raise your hand in the chat if you want to hear some guitar pedals, because I got some set up right here. I do. I got them all set up right here. And some guitar pedals all set up right here. All right, who's up for a pedal? Abraham Johnson, do you get to go first or I get to go first?
It's your choice, your call.
My choice, my call. I think Abraham Johnson gets to go first. Woo.
All right.
What we got going on in the chat? Who's there?
Flip top down camera. We'll read some chat. Lloyd Elmore Jr. says, that sounds good.
All right.
I'd be inclined to agree.
Yeah, man. So I am.
Randy Johnson giving us high praise, saying that sounds like Clapton and Dwayne from the Jams.
Oh,
Hey
y'all better
now.
watch it. Y'all better watch out. All right, I like it. I was just testing a little guitar line there. So Abraham tonight is playing through. You can see over. He is playing through. You can't really see it, but he is playing through the Oncle amplification 0 amp. Which is basically, it's off to the side a little bit in the picture, but you can slide it over a little bit and show if you want.
I don't want to monkey with the cables.
Don't be monkeying with it. So Abraham is playing through the Oncle amplification 0 amp, and the 0 amp is so cool. It's a direct device, all tube, all analog, no modeling, no digital, no trickery or anything like that. And it is it's basically the front end of a 59 Bassman. All tube, all analog. You can jumper it. It's got the 4 inputs. You can jumper it, and it has a cab simulator, but an analog cab simulator, kind of like the Sans Amp guys do, but in a much more complicated way, and just killer sounding. So that clean sound you just heard him playing with a little bit of grit on it was just a 0 amp, straight into our little, software mixer in there. The Eddie Van Halen. What guitar are you playing tonight? Hold it up for the fine people to see.
I'll shove it in the top down.
Shove it in the top down.
The
Boom.
Good old reliable Stripe Series EVH black and white. I mean, what else can you say about it?
You can't.
One pickup, one knob, all you need.
Can't get it done with that. You can't get it done. Yeah, I dig it. I think we're both in need of a string change, but you know what? Even dead strings sound good on that thing. Yes.
Oh, yeah.
And we're a half step down.
Woo!
All right. So what's the first pedal up on Abraham Johnson's side of the table tonight?
All right. First off, we've got the Keeley Parallax spatial generator, as it says. So we've got a reverb and a delay unit all in one. We've got 8 knobs and 2 3-way switches and foot switches. And
man, that's a lot of options. How they fit 8 knobs on that thing?
that's what I'm saying.
You said 8. I was like, ain't got 8 knobs on it. I sat and looked at it. I was like, what does 8 of them all crammed together right there?
Packed in there.
I tell you what, Robert Keeley is doing the Lord's work in Oklahoma City out there, and again, we were fortunate enough to go visit their factory and meet with Aaron, their artist rep, and Aaron and Robert took us on a very cool tour of the factory, and it was amazing. So when I saw that they had a Parallax, I hit Aaron up, and he's like, I got one left. It's got your name on it. And I was like, perfect. He didn't literally have my name on it, thank goodness. But because it devalues, if it's got my name on it, it goes down in value. I said nobody's name on it stays up in value. Anyway, carry on about the pedal, Abraham.
All right, so we've got our reverb side. This little 3-way switch has Hall, reverse, and soft focus options. So we'll start on the Hall side. We'll put things at noon, as you do. You've got a blend, decay, warmth, and depth knob, which is quite the tonal palette to work with.
Woo! That's crazy. What is that on the back end?
I think that's your depth.
Well, what is the patch called again? Is
It's
it
your hall reverb.
Oh, so cool. Woo! Wow. You guys hear that reverb in the live feed? Drop it in the chat. Tell me if you can hear that. Tell me if you can hear the verb off that pedal. How deep it is. So cool. Woo! All right. Wow. Beautiful.
So there's your hall, and this is our reverse.
Oh, come on. So basically, whatever you feed to it, it just feeds it back in a big reverse wave right after it. Does it have a time? Does it have like a time on it? It's got to. I mean, it's a reverb pedal.
Let's see.
Not a time, but oh. Oh, I feel seasick. That's so great. Oh!
Oh!
Whoa! Oh my gosh!
So what is?
It's like you got a poltergeist in your guitar. He didn't laugh at that. He normally laughs at my jokes. Oh my gosh! Oh! That's movie soundtrack guitar right there. Killer. Yes. Oh.
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 And then we've got our soft focus.
Woo!
Oh.
Oh, that's cool. That sounds amazing. Wow. So I do remember out of the manual, because there was a manual in the box, that the soft focus is like it's like a patch off the Yamaha SPX 90. I think Yamaha SPX 90 rack mount, the old rack mount, had a reverb in it called soft focus, and I think that was everybody's favorite reverb in that thing. Does anybody remember the Yamaha SPX 90s out there? Just put that in the... Anybody tell me in the chat if you remember the good old SPX 90. I got friends of mine that still use them. I think Billy Hewlin still uses one on the Darius tours as like house reverbs in the rig, even though they build a lot of reverbs into consoles now. But I think he still uses SPX 90. Maybe I could check with him and see. Anyway, so the soft focus on this pedal is a recreation of a patch out of a Yamaha SPX 90 rack mounted reverb. That sounds great. Let me hear the tom on it. Oh, it's beautiful, and it's got some sort of modulation in it.
Yeah.
It's got a delay side on it too.
Yeah, and we haven't even scratched.
We ain't even gotten to the right side yet.
Not even scratched that. So here's your delay.
Wow. What is the setting? What is that set on?
So
I see it's got a toggle. I just can't read it. And
This
it's far away
toggle
from
switch
me.
here says off, deep, and light.
Huh.
So, if you listen to it, it's off now. We'll hit the deep and you'll get it. You ready?
Yeah. Okay.
You get your modulation, your little saturation in it.
Oh yeah, and I hear it. I hear it tell. Oh wow.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah, a little Echoplex tape warble in there.
And you can get it light. Just a little bit.
Oh, that's cool. What are the controls on the delay side?
You've got time, blend, rate, and repeats.
All right. Makes sense. That makes sense. Yeah. Yeah, come on. I mean, man, come on.
So if
Yeah.
you hit the reverb
whoops. Sorry.
and the delay.
Sorry, I pulled the feed up on my phone for a second to see comments.
There you go. There's your
Start
reverb and delay.
Oh,
If I'm,
wow.
No, I lied. I was mistaken.
Incredible. But it's got the high thing, like the shimmer thing on it, right?
Oh.
It sounds incredible. Not just the pedal, but you're playing is spot on, son. Spot on, son. There's no. Is there a place for an expression on it for a tap tempo switch? Maybe. I bet there is.
Nope.
Nope.
No, there's
No.
not. Wow, what you see is what you get.
Hey, no complaints. What I hear sounds pretty darn good. Can you guys hear that? You guys hear that out there? The crazy delay reverb thing going on? Amazing. It's great. All right. So
There
that
you
is
go.
that is the Parallax from. It's a little different than a pair of slacks, but it's a Parallax. Come on, I
That
made
was
him laugh
pretty
on that
funny,
one. That's
actually.
good. That was
pretty
good. Pair of slacks. That's if I had a pedal, I'd call it a pair of slacks. And that's what it because slacks are. Thank you. 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 Chris Rock ain't the only one with a comedy special on this week.
True.
That's me.
Yeah.
Right? Come on, that's pretty good.
There you
Pair of slacks. If I had a pedal, I'd call it a pair of slacks. Remember the 70s? We know you don't remember anything in the 70s.
Yeah, I remember.
Remember
You know.
the 70s, Abraham?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my Lord gracious. So Adrian Foltz mentioned in the chat about a special drum delivery that I had on Saturday. I'm going to go back to things that happened in the studio because I forgot to mention this. I was fortunate enough to, there's a gentleman named Bob who played drums for the Jamie Trollinger band. And Jamie Trollinger and Wezzo and their guys were in here back before, I think they were in here in December or before December. When I talked to Jamie about it, I couldn't remember the exact time. So Jamie hit me up and he said, man, first off, are you going to be around on Saturday? He said, when Bob passed away, he wanted you to have this set of drums that he has. And he went through and he said where these kits, he wanted all of his drum kits to go, and he wants this one to come to the studio so people can use it. And I was like, first off, Bob passed away? I didn't even know Bob died. And it's very unfortunate, and apparently it happened pretty quick. And it was an illness, and it happened pretty quick, and it sucks. So anyway, this past Saturday, Jamie and Wezo brought this set of drums, and I would go grab them, but they're all stacked up in there. Yeah. They're covered up with a blanket because I had a session today. Oh, and I had a band called Fat Mouth in here with Graham Sloanaker and those guys today. Ooh. Completely destroyed it for 4 hours. That kid is such a great keys player and all that. Anyway, that's what the drums had a blanket over them for. So the drums are old Tama kit. They have concert toms, which means they don't have any rims on the bottom of the toms. They look like Peter Criss, right? That's what they sound like. And apparently, this was a kit that was owned by. Let me double check his name. Hold on a minute. I can do it. I'm capable. Thank you. I really need that. We're gonna get sued. We're gonna get sued for that. But it's okay.
It's not like we're making
I don't
money.
care. Yeah, we're gonna get sued for making. We're gonna get sued for making no money. Oh, hold on. Oh, Joe English. So apparently this kit was owned by drummer Joe English. Anybody know who Joe English is? Joe English played for. In the 70s, played for Paul McCartney and Wings. And I was like, whoa, hold on. What'd you just say? You're going to bring me a drum kit that was owned by this guy? And he was like, yeah, the story was with Bob that he sold them to him cheap. And he said one of the tours that they were used on or something like that. So maybe next week we can get the drums out and I'll kind of show them to you. I need to clean them up and everything. But pretty cool story. And very cool drums on top of it. Incredibly cool. So we'll see how that happens. And I don't know how I end up with all this stuff. I'm a very fortunate person. I'm a magnet for that stuff. And I don't complain about it. It's got to have somewhere to put it. The studio's pretty big. It is smaller every day when you have 6, 7 drum kits in here. 2 or 3 of them maybe see the majority of the use, but no complaints. Anyway, back on to pedals, shall we? So that is my Sovtek MiG 50. My favorite amp of all times. And it's running straight into my Universal Audio aux. And my first pedal has some dirt on it. And it is by, let me get the camera down here. It is this really cool looking pedal here that looks like the cover of it belongs on a toolbox in the back of a truck or something. It's kind of my kind of pedal anyway. I kind of dig it. It is by Tech 21. And it is called the XXL Overdrive. Does anybody remember the XXL Overdrive back in the 90s? I don't think it was late 80s. I think it was probably 90s. May have even been 2000s. The XXL, very cool pedal. I think we bought this one out in Albuquerque from, what was the name of that music store? I got the shirt. Grumpy's Music. And the guy wasn't grumpy at all. Grumpy's Guitars. Yep. The guy wasn't grumpy at all. He was actually really cool. It's got a drive and a level and a tone and a warp knob. And the warp knob apparently switches up the even, odd order harmonics in your overdrive. So there is the good old clean channel. Let's go everything at noon and see what happens with the XXL. Oh my God, it scared me. Woo, about made me jump. Woo, that's rock and roll. So now, that's everything at noon. Let's see what the tone, let's turn the tone all the way down. Sometimes you can get a fuzzy kind of. Oh. So that's my, That's my treble pickup with the tone all the way down. Let's turn the tone all the way up and see how brittle it'll get. That even made me laugh. How brittle it'll get. Come on now. That's not bad at all, man. No, not bad at all. All right, so we'll go back up noon. Let's go up on the gain a little bit, shall we? Because it's always better. Oh, my gosh. It's like the amp's feeding back, but there ain't no cabinet. Like that. Let's go gain all the way up. I ain't afraid of it. You afraid of it, Abraham? Oh, it's going to get nasty. You ready? Oh! God, what a great pedal. Neck pickup, you ready? Oh, that's just that's neck. Let's get middle. God, it's nasty. All right, so let's check it out. So the warp knob, you set it, right? And then when you go up on it, let's see what happens. Woo, it's almost fuzzy. I like it. Is the Tech 21. Let's get another look at it. Man, my iPad's about to die. That's the Tech 21 XXL. You could probably pick them up used everywhere. We picked this one up used, and it's still got a price tag on it. It's $85. $85 for a really, really killer Tech 21 pedal. All their stuff's analog, no digital, hokum going on around there. So that is my first pedal out of the way. Not out of the way, man. I wish I could just keep playing it. Jeez, that's creamy. XXL Tech 21. Check it out. Go to all your used places and look for them. Reverbs, eBays. Abraham's up next. What you got? I see what Abraham has hooked up.
Mm-hmm.
Tell him. Talk to him, son. Woo! Tell him, son.
We've got the Cristle King. Ooh, baby.
All right.
Come on now.
All right. I don't think you already explained the Cristle King to the fine people.
So, Greg Koch, the guitarist we were referring to earlier that we went out and saw Monday night, I want to say. Monday? Yeah? Monday night at the Flatiron, he completely decimated the place for 2 hours. Oh, yeah.
Unbelievable.
He was selling his signature pedal at his merch booth, and we just had to pick it up.
Yes, sir.
I said, I figure these aren't going to crop up much anywhere else. So
and they don't. That's the
grabbed
crazy
ourselves
thing.
one brand new and got him to sign it, if you can see that on the top down.
Hey.
Right there.
Yeah, now.
So we've got
So tell them who the Cristle King is made by. Does it say?
It says by T. I don't know how to pronounce the last name. Jauernig.
Oh, wow. I don't know.
No big company.
It's like a guy.
Yeah. No branding. I mean, that's the only branding on the pedal is right there. So we've got our overdrive section, and then we've got our boost section.
Okay.
So you've got gristle, tone, and gravy in your overdrive.
If you got a pedal that has a gristle knob and a gravy knob on it, there's absolutely nothing wrong with that.
And you've got your
I can
flavor
attest to it.
and your fat switches. And then you've got pre-post for your boost and more for your boost. Pretty simple, but it gets the job done.
Wow, is that everything at noon?
Oh, yeah.
Oh. That's just mean sounding. Woo. That pedal's mean.
It sounds good. I found out if you turn the drive down and just crank the volume up.
Like a Klon.
Oh, yeah.
Woo! Wow.
Mm.
Wow.
Get the flavor.
Oh my gosh! So the flavor knob is like it's like a little bit more grit in the gain section, I think.
I suppose so.
Maybe.
And then you've got your fat switch.
Can everybody hear the Cristle King out there? You gotta let us know. I know Eric Gale was waiting on it. He was waiting on it. Unbelievable.
So we've got that, but then we've even got, because, you know, sometimes you just need more, got the boost side.
Wow. Oh, it's nasty. That's nasty. Nasty. Oh, I love it.
We've got some good comments rolling in.
All right, who's got some
Someone
good
wants
comments?
to know what the ballpark price on this pedal is. It's a very good question to ask. I believe
That's a great
online
question
you
to
can
ask.
probably get them for around, I think, $180 new, and that's without tax and shipping. And we bought this one straight from him for $200 even.
$200 autograph.
No shipping, no taxes, no funny business. Just
Nope. And those guys got to make money, man. I mean, when
Yep.
I go to shows and I do stuff like that, I don't. I'm not going to ask somebody for anything. You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna go like, hey man, can you give me, can you cut me a discount on whatever? But so that was not a problem at all. Hold on a second. That was not a problem at all. Oh, man, there's a lot of comments coming into the esteemed colleagues thing, and I'm sorry I have missed most of these guys. Deshaun was asking what was on the back end of the reverb on that pedal, and it was I think the back end of the reverb on that pedal had a shimmer thing on it. Terry says, what's the ballpark price? Yeah, you got that, right?
Yeah.
So, but the Cristle King is just ridiculous, guys. The other crazy thing about it, it's a lot like I have a pedal from DryBell called the Engine, and it's pretty cool. and the engine has a it has two sides. Like this has two sides. It's got an overdrive in your left. Let me turn this up. Does your amp seem to be sagging and coming back?
I think.
Oh, is Aiden
Yep.
mixing? Aiden's mixing. Aiden is mixing. That's why it's coming up and down. That's great. Hey, man, we got somebody mixing the show. What the heck? So on this left side over here with the blue light, that's where your overdrive is happening. And then the right side, the red light, is the boost. And the boost is a whole separate thing. But you can switch the order. So what order is it in now?
We've got the boost before the overdrive, which means that it's just crunching it up more.
Yeah. So the boost makes it hit the but now if we switch to post, then what happens is the overdrive comes after. I mean, the boost comes after the overdrive. So when you kick on the boost, it's just gonna make it louder. Oh, there you go. It's just gonna make it louder in your amp. Like it's gonna like a boost for a solo, right? So if you want to hit the boost, you ready? You want me to hit it? You ready? Yeah, now. Keep pushing the volume up on it. Oh, and then boost back off. Beautiful. So that's his. The Cristle King. Who is that made by again? By T somebody?
Yep.
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 All right, so there's the Cristle King. We promised y'all. I promised a couple people we would play it. We didn't tell anybody we bought it, but we done got it. So, such a glorious sounding pedal, man. Oh, wow, that's... Oh, go back here. Go back here. And now if you turn the more up all the way into the overdrive, listen to it get fuzzy. You ready? Play some fuzzy blue lines. Woo! Oh my God! Yeah, now. Yeah, man. So when you take that boost and you run it you run it before the overdrive and you crank the boost all the way, that's with the gain way down. It gets fuzzy and choky and spitty. Yeah! All right. There you go, the Cristle King, all ganked out, as hard as it'll go. Sounds great. Who's in the IG chat?
We've got producer Big Stacks
All right.
in the IG.
I know him. Okay. I think I have a pedal coming up, and it may possibly be one of the best. It's not possibly. It's not even possible. It is the best. It's the best roto vibe Univibe. Sorry, not a Rotovibe. It's the best Univibe that I've heard. I'm gonna switch it out if you don't mind. Anybody digging? Anybody dig? Anybody on the Univibe? Univibe tip? You guys digging that? You guys dig Univibes? All right. So this is. Let's get a little bit of applause for that. That's fabulous. Gristle King is fabulous.
Oh yeah.
It deserves that, and Abraham's playing deserves that. So there you go. I know, Wezzo, he does, right? He's rocking. He is rocking. I was just thanking you and Jamie earlier for bringing over Bob's drums, man. I can't thank y'all enough. That's very special stuff, so thank you. All right, y'all. Oh. There you go, son. There's your Univibe. All right. Might help if I tune a vibe. Let's tune a vibe, shall we? I don't know why my guitar's going out. Maybe it's because it's in a half step down, like it shouldn't be, but it is. It sounds a little meaner. Oh. All right. So here's the Vibe Machine by DryBell is the name of the company. And so everybody said, damn son, Abe rocks. And George B. Jack said, Abe for hire? Question mark. Of course he is. So, drop the camera and Aiden is on the job. So while it's moving, if you take that control down there and just press the middle button on it. Don't press any other button and it'll stop it for a second. There you go. So it's not like an obstacle course. All right, so we're down to one. We dropped the camera. We're an hour 20 minutes, so we're not going to go too terribly much long, but I got a few pedals to play. So this is the Vibe Machine. It is by a company called DryBell, and it is so cool. Charlie Hunter turned me onto this pedal. Said that he said, you know my buddy Doyle Bramhall? And I was like, no, I don't know Doyle, but I'm sure you do. So he said his buddy Doyle Bramhall swore that, who is a Univibe snob, apparently, swore that this was the best Univibe recreation pedal made. And I tend to agree with him. I'm not a Univibe snob, but I think it's a killer pedal. So, can you guys hear that? Yeah, now. Oh, I'm out of tune so bad. Oh, I'm so bad out of tune. Jeez. What is happening to my tuning? All right. So if you want to hear that without so much, if you want to hear it with a little bit of beef behind it, let's do that, shall we? Yeah, man. Great sounding Univibe pedal, and the best part about this pedal is that, as you remember about the original Univibes, they had the pedal look like a wah-wah, and you can speed it up and slow it down, right? Well, this has a few switches. This has a chorus switch, and then you have a custom and a bright and a normal. So there's your normal. Here's your custom. I don't really hear much difference with a lot of overdrive on it like that. Maybe if I turn down. So then we go to vibrato. So the speed will go way up here, right? And your intensity can come down, right? So that's really nice sometimes to, if you take an effect like that and then you just add a little intensity to where it's not just really jacking up your whole thing. I don't know why that G string keeps slipping, but it's about to make me not happy. That is the DryBell Vibe Machine. I think that's the one. They make a Vibe Machine 2, maybe? And that is the chorus setting. This is the vibrato setting. Everything at noon. Let's check it out. It's a lot more subtle. The vibrato is like a harmonic tremolo almost. If you hear it like getting pitchy. That's really nice, right? I mean, that's incredible. You could leave that on, right? You cut it off, you go here. So the best part about this pedal is if you'll look, it's got this little DryBell F1L switch to it, which is going to make your slow down. And you hear it getting like that weird harmonic tremolo, like pitchy, like a magnetone. And you stomp your pedal back on and it speeds up like a Leslie. So when we switch it over to Univibe mode, we can turn our maximum speed on. Right, like that. And then we click it and it slows down. Great pedal. Oh, man, I love it. Univibe. Yeah, Robin Trower and a pedal, I swear. It's very, very nice. All right. Abraham has one more pedal. Woo. Are you ready? Are y'all ready for one more pedal from Abraham Johnson? Come on. Come on. Give him some high fives and some clappage in the chat. What's going on over on the IG?
Not much.
All right. So, hey, just wanted to remind you guys, Be sure to follow the group if you're in this esteemed Colleagues of Earthtones Recording group. It's really cool. Be sure to follow that for all these notices, and I'll try to post when we're going to do the live stream every week. We're going to plan it every week. Going to try to. And also on the old YouTube, if you are there, hit the bell icon for notifications and make sure that you subscribe and that you like the videos and all that. And they're all in there, and I get comments on them, and it's really cool. I like it. I like them being there in perpetuity. So they live there after we've done them, and it's very cool. So if you want to go watch them again, I'm sure they're on Facebook. You can find them, but you can probably find them on the Earthtones official YouTube channel a whole lot better. Anyway, carry on. I just wanted to cover some business. Ooh. So you know, I appreciate you being patient while I did that.
So we've got our most recently acquired. Yeah, most recently acquired pedal.
I think so. It was a used one at the Guitar Center.
At the Guitar Center.
Went to the Guitar Center to look at some guitars and guitar related stuff. And as Mark, as Buddy Rose says, big guitar stuff. So let's see what we got there.
Woo! So we've got our Radial tube drive.
Oh,
in the
Tubebone.
Hot British distortion flavor. There were, were there two there?
There were two.
One of them was all right.
One was called a classic distortion. Can anyone guess? And put it in the chats of all these things for me. We have the chats all sort of like merged together over here, so I'm seeing some, and some I'm kind of looking at on my own. But tell me if you know if this pedal says Hot British Distortion, and that is the flavor of it. What would this pedal be fashioned after? Can anyone tell me that in the chat? I'll wait. I'll let him show you the pedal before somebody guesses what this Hot British Distortion is a take on.
So we've got our five knobs. You've got your level, which is your master output, your highs, your lows, your contour knob, and your drive knob. So pretty straightforward, but then you've got your little three-way toggle switches. You've got your top end options, you've got your voicing options, and you've got your mid boost options.
Yeah, now.
So I mean, all that combined is quite a diverse set.
First thing we like about the pedal is that these two words.
True. Tube drive. You've got your vent on the side of the pedal for your tubes.
Aiden, huge favor. Bring me the blue USB out here and get me a cube for it. We might have just lost the live stream, but I don't think we did.
No, the live stream is still coming through. But
okay. I just can't switch cameras, so
we're
stuck on this camera for a minute. So
not a problem with that.
Tight.
So, everything at noon, we'll just click it on and see what happens. Oh, maybe we need some more level. There we go. Oh, yeah.
Wow, that's the level all the way up?
Yep.
Turn it off for a second. Let me hear the level.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, now, come on. Get it, son. That's so weird that the level drops on it like that. Keep going.
Woo! I like that.
All right, so that's the scoop. That's the voicing. It's like a scoop voicing. It's like a scoop mids Metallica kind of thing. So, and then your next switch up for the voicing is fat. Are we ready for fat? I think we're ready for fat. pretty fat. Ooh. All right. So I haven't seen if anybody's told me. Has anybody told me in the chat anywhere what the hot British distortion? What would that be a pedal that kind of sounds like what? Hot British distortion. Come on now. I know somebody can answer me. All right, let's see what those other switches do. You've got a top EQ, and the top EQ is important on a distortion or amp pedal because you don't want the top end to be too brittle. So that's flat. Then you can actually boost the top a little bit. So that's with the top boosted a little. That's good. Let me go back to flat, and then here's dark. Here's top end rolled off. Woo. That's not bad. Yeah. Now back to normal. All right. So we're ready for the mid boost. And the contour knob is great. It goes really dark, and then it gets really scoop mid sound. And then let's go mid boost. Are you ready for mid boost? Oh! Wow. All right. That's great. It's cranking now. Now we're going to go another notch of mid boost. Another however many dB. That's a 7 dB. Here goes a 12 dB mid boost. All right. So this pedal was a pretty good find. You paid $90 for it, maybe? Something like that.
Yeah, just about.
At the, like I say, at the old Guitar Center, and it was killing. I was like, the Radial stuff. If anybody has owned any Radial stuff, built like a tank. Built like a tank, right? Amazing. So that is the. That is the Radial Tubebone Hot British Distortion. All right, do I have the last pedal of the evening? You going through all three of yours? All right, I'm last up. Let me get it hooked up. Here we go. So last but not least, I am pulling out the big guns of all things crazy and all things Jack White. Oh, and I'm going to throw it around a little bit before I actually hook it up and see what it's made out of. All right. Anybody know who Jack White is? Of course you do, because he is the White Stripes and was in the White Stripes, and he is the White Stripes. And now has all these solo records out, and he has all this great stuff. I think he just did his 5th appearance on Saturday Night Live, maybe. All right, here we go. Are we ready? I'm going to go camera, top down camera. Top down camera. If you can see it right here. It's the black and yellow pedal. And you're fixing to go like this. This is from Third Man Records and Mantic pedals, and it is called the Flex. And if you guys have seen any recent Jack White footage of him doing all this crazy stuff, he's stepping on pedals and all sorts of crazy sounds are coming out and things sound like they're falling apart and you know, failing left and right. Well, this is the reason why. This is called the Mantic Flex, and we still don't know what it does. There's a money switch, there's a $ switch, and there's an ampersand switch. There's a knob that says level, there's a knob that says focus, and there's a knob that says pump. Here is my plain signal. Into my amp. Are we ready? Yeah, now. Are we ready? That's it. You hit the chord and it goes just like this. Are we ready? Are we down with the Mantic Flex? So as you turn these knobs, that's the pump knob coming up a little more, but when you notice it stops, it just goes, and I don't know what kind of voodoo they got built into this thing. I found it at I think I went, if you guys will go online to, it's not like I'm partial to Guitar Center or Music Around or anything, but a lot of times you go to Guitar Center and you search online, you can search for a pedal, and I've found them. You can search for a pedal or something that you might be looking for, and then it'll show you all these used things in all their stores. Ridiculous. I don't know what I paid for this, but it was way less than the new price. And I was like, man, I got to have some of that Jack White stuff he's doing. And it is like the craziest of the crazy. And it's great. Like, if you know the vibe and you can play in that vibe, you can't pick it up and play like, you know. Pretty good. That's not bad, but I like where it goes when you stop. Oh! See if it kills itself again. Oh! All right, so we'll turn the level up. Let's see what the level up is going to do. It's always good if there's more level, right? let's see this focus knob in the middle. If we turn it all the way down, let's see what it does. Yes! It's a theremin. You want a theremin? Get the Mantic Flex. Hey, thank you, Chris Rolak. Turn the focus knob all the way down and just hit a string. Amazing! Then I turn the focus knob up some more. Let's go all the way up on the focus knob and see what it does.
Lost the camera.
Oh, wait a minute. That's all right. Woo, it's nasty. Yes, Mike Pope, we did do the Cristle, but would you like to hear it one more time? Mike Pope just said, y'all done the Cristle yet? Abraham's going to hook it up. Oh. So we have a repeat performance. I still say y'all need to set up higher. Oh, sorry about that. I do have low stools tonight, and that's my fault. I just picked the low stool. It's a little easier for me to sit with the guitar when I sit on the high when I feel like I'm going to fall off because I'm little and short. All right, Mike Pope. Is Mike Pope ready for the Cristle King? All right, we're gonna go to the Cristle King. So that's just guitar. Abraham's guitar dry. Woo! What is that? Come on. That's the overdrive side. Yeah, man, come on. Show him the switches. That is dang chunky Cristle. It's feeding back on a direct amp. You gotta love that. Is the gain all the way up?
No.
Wow. Which knob is making it do it? It's like bird calls. Bird calls with Abraham Johnson. Squawking hogs. Chris says very cool sound. Yeah, you should have got you one, Mike Pope. Oh Lord, which knob is that?
That's the tone knob.
Ah, very strange. Sounds like somebody when they whistle in their hand. Yeah. He said that's some chunky whistle. It's the Whistle King. Cristle said, does Abe get extra credit for this at school? Nobody gets extra credit at home. Actually, I think it goes pretty good on his college resume, which if y'all missed it earlier, I would like to say that Abraham Johnson was accepted into the Hayes School of Music at App State, passed his audition, really killer, so fall time. Anyway, so let's tell Mike about the pre and post on the boost.
So there's your pre-boost.
So Pope, check it out. That setting is the boost, but it's got a pre and a post on the boost. In other words, you can put the boost in front of the overdrive, and it makes it grittier like that. Or you put the boost, switch it and put the boost after the overdrive, and it just makes it louder like this. So it's got a couple of different options. It's incredible. And Abraham is playing that thing through. You can't see it, but he's playing it through the Onkel Amplification 0 amp, which is a killer all analog direct device, tube, analog, all that good stuff. All right. Plus it's orange. Well, yeah. And I'll show you the other part of it too. It's orange and it's autographed. See that? That at least makes it sound about 5% better, I'm sure. But, so, all right. Are we ready to get out of here? Here's how you get Abraham out of the live stream. Abraham, are you hungry?
Yep.
All right. So, we just want to thank everyone one more time again for tuning in and watching us carry on with our shenanigans. Hopefully, go ahead. Hopefully, we'll be back next week. I think we should. And we'll make it happen. One way or the other. One way or another, I'm gonna get you. Hey, let's go on out with a little bit of stuff. Here we go.